If you've been following me for a while, you likely know that I'm a huge fan of anything related to art supplies and stationery, which is why I was ecstatic at the fact of the generous people at Ferris Press of giving me supplies to try out. Today, I'm featuring one of 3 colors that they sent me, Malibu Blush. As the name implies, Malibu Blush is a bright, energetic pink, which, considering the dreary weather I've been having in my area, it's nice to have something a little warm and peachy. It kinda reminds me of spring. Of course, the name itself is based off of Malibu Beach, California, so I wanted my piece to sort of reflect the coastline there. But based on the packaging alone for these gorgeous inks, I knew that Ferris Press wanted to tell a story with their products. For this piece, I was inspired by vintage postcards since I've always had a fascination with traveling. I used to collect these a lot as a kid. I also took a lot of inspiration from the packaging itself. After all, a nice beach getaway doesn't seem so bad after a cold winter. Back to the inks themselves, the color is nice and vibrant, straight from the bottle. I also noticed that these inks have a quick drying time, which is good in preventing smudges. Especially when using fountain pen ink, we know how troublesome it can be when we think a line is dry and it really isn't. That said, when the first layers do dry, it is easy to go over it again to deepen the colors here. These layer quite nicely, and I was able to go over it multiple times without it looking muddled. Of course, an important aspect in any painting is being able to differentiate your values, and I had an easier time here when I knew that I could layer these colors many times. That said, I knew I wanted to push my values a little further, so I decided to use Cabernet on the Lake to add a little bit of contrast to this piece. I intend to make a separate piece going into more detail about this gorgeous wine red. If you are interested in trying these inks out for yourself, I do have an affiliate link. Use code AYANA, AYANA, for a 10% discount from all products that are sold by Ferris Press. This company is home to many different stationery products, not just inks, but also fountain pens, as well as notebooks. Their supplies are suitable for both students as well as collectors of stationery products. I am so happy for them to give me the opportunity to try out their supplies. I am also happy to give the opportunity for my followers to also try them out. Again, code AYANA for 10% off all products from Ferris Press. In order for the promo to work, you have to use the special link that is in my card, which I have in my bio. To see more of what I do with these inks, please stay tuned. A few weeks ago, the generous people at Ferris Press sent me their inks to try out. In my first video in this series, I had already tried out Malibu Blush, so I wanted to give the other 2 colors I received a fair shake. First up is Bookkeeper's Brass, which is a nice warm golden color. You can't really tell here, but there's a bit of a sparkle effect in this ink. The second ink that I mainly used in this piece was Cabernet on the Lake, which is a deep wine red. That too also has a slightly shimmering finish once it dries. Between the gold and the deep red, I thought this was a good opportunity to make a drawing for Lunar New Year. Of course, those colors are quite prominent during that holiday. It is 2024, which means it's the start of the Year of the Dragon. In Eastern mythology, dragons are used as a sign of strength as well as authority. It makes sense that people born under this sign are known to be strong-willed as well as quite intelligent. It's no surprise that they feel quite at home in leadership positions. They can also do well in more creative fields such as acting or directing. As I mentioned before, dragons are quite passionate about what they like and quite passionate about things they don't like. Since they can be quite strong about what they believe in, it can be a bit challenging for other signs. Their strength and energy might be interpreted as arrogance in some cases. It can also be prone to being perfectionist and can get quite frustrated at any perceived setbacks that they have in their career or personal life. That said, it isn't all doom and gloom. Once they do see a goal that they want to pursue, they'll stop at nothing to achieve it. Going back to my actual piece, I at first started off with using flat washes of ink to get the type of color that I wanted. Once that was over with, I went over the drawing again with my dip pen. I mainly used Cabernet on the Lake to get bit of a line art going. Of course, I was happy to see that these two colors complemented each other quite nicely. And although the camera isn't doing it justice, the shimmer effect is quite noticeable. If you're interested in trying these inks out, as well as any other supplies that Ferris Wheel Press has, I do have an affiliate code. Use code AYANA, AYANA, in my link in my bio to get 10% off. The promotion doesn't just apply to these gorgeous inks, they also apply to dip pens, fountain pens, notebooks, and all other supplies sold by Ferris Wheel Press. I wanted to thank them again for giving me the opportunity to try out these gorgeous colors, and I can't wait to see what else that I create with these. If you want to see more, please stay tuned. It has been about a month and a half since I have received these gorgeous inks from Ferris Wheel Press, and I'm continuing to fall in love with these the more and more I use them. Like before, I wanted to showcase all 3 of the colors that they sent me, and I had a great idea today on just how to do that. For this piece, I was particularly inspired by the Malibu Blush color, which is a bright pink. While it's inspired by these shades of pink in a Malibu sunset, this color to me reminds me a lot like cotton candy. In fact, all 3 of these colors reminded me of dessert for some reason, so I decided to go with that. As I mentioned, I used Malibu Blush for most of the piece, but I also dipped into Bookkeeper's Brass and Cabernet on the lake. While I know these colors look good on their own, I feel like they work even better as a team. Both Bookkeeper's Brass and Cabernet on the Lake have a slight shimmer effect to them, which is more apparent when you see these inks dry, as you can see here. While these inks are designed for calligraphy, I wanted to test their limits in a more painterly fashion. As I mentioned previously, these inks are quick drying, which is good, especially in calligraphy. You don't want your writing to be smudged, or your whole journal ruined by a drop of water. As you can also see, these are quite vibrant. A little bit goes a long way with these inks. That said, I can't talk about these inks without mentioning the gorgeous packaging that they come in. Both the bottle and the box itself have a ton of intricate details. You can tell that the people at Ferris Wheel Press really do care about their product. And if you want to try these gorgeous inks out along with other products such as notebooks, fountain pens, fountain pen holders, and the like, I do have an affiliate code. Use code AYANA, AYANA, at checkout for a 10% discount of all products sold by Ferris Wheel Press. The code only works with my special affiliate link, which is in my card that is pinned to my bio. Prior to me making this cupcake, I was in a bit of an art slump lately. But thanks to these gorgeous colors, I found a bit of a spark again. If you want to see more of what I do with these inks, please stay tuned.